The global energy crisis reaches a critical threshold. From Neural Newscast, a special report on the IEA's historic release of oil reserves.
Joined by Nina, here is what you need to know. The International Energy Agency has authorized the largest release of government oil reserves in its history. All 32 member nations agreed to put 400 million barrels of emergency crude onto the market. This is a direct response to supply disruptions caused by the conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran.
To put that figure in perspective, Noah, this release is more than double the volume the IEA deployed in 2022 following the invasion of Ukraine. Executive Director Fatih Birol stated yesterday that energy security is the agency's founding mandate. This move aims to compensate for the loss of roughly 15 million barrels of crude a day normally transiting the Strait of Hormuz, which is currently restricted due to the war.
Contributions are coming from across the globe. Japan is leading the effort by releasing 80 million barrels from private and national reserves starting March 18th. Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi noted that Japan relies on the strait for 70% of its oil imports. Germany is contributing 19.5 million barrels, while the UK has promised 13.5 million. South Korea is also providing 22 million barrels to help stabilize the market.
Despite this massive intervention, markets remain tense. Brent crude futures rose nearly 5% yesterday to close near $92 a barrel. We've seen significant volatility, with prices hitting $119 earlier this week. Iran's military has warned that the world should prepare for oil to reach $200 a barrel if the conflict continues to escalate.
That $200 figure is a warning for future escalation, but it is driving policy in Washington and Brussels. Analysts at Macquarie estimate this release covers about 16 days of the volume that usually transits the Gulf. Sasha Foss, an energy analyst at Marex, says these releases buy the global economy a few extra days, but the long-term outlook depends on whether the strait can be reopened safely.
Safety is the primary obstacle now. The UK maritime trade operations reported yesterday that 3 cargo ships were struck by projectiles off the Iranian coast. 13 commercial vessels have been attacked since the war began. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt clarified that the United States Navy is not currently providing direct escorts for commercial tankers. This lack of security keeps the blockade effectively in place.
The math for IEA members is also tightening, Nina. These nations are required to hold at least 90 days of crude in reserve. Total public emergency stocks sit at about 1.2 billion barrels. Releasing 400 million represents a third of that stockpile. If the conflict lasts more than a few weeks, these countries must decide how much further they can draw down reserves without compromising national security.
The duration of the war is the critical variable. Some strategists believe that if tensions do not de-escalate by the end of this week, oil prices could return to the $120 mark. For now, the IEA hopes this injection of supply will discourage panic buying and curb immediate shocks to global transportation.
We will continue to track shipping data and the impact on energy prices as the situation in the Middle East evolves. This has been a special report from Neural Newscast.
For my co-anchor, Noah, thank you for joining us.
And for Nina, I'm signing off. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.